Have you ever looked at your boss and thought, "You're such a reptile"? Well, you might be onto something, according to a certain group of people. Back, dear viewers, to another episode of Conspiracy Theory Debunked. No tin hat required. Today, we're going to slither into the world of lizard people. A concept so intriguing that it might just make you question if your boss is indeed a cold-blooded reptile in a suit. Suit. Remember our last couple of videos? We talked about the squirrel overlords and their nefarious plans of world domination. And let's not forget Bigfoot, the misunderstood vegetarian giant of the woods. If we can entertain those ideas, why not the possibility that our world leaders are actually shape-shifting lizard people from a distant galaxy? Now, before we dive into the world of scales and tails, let's take a moment to remind you that if you're enjoying these crazy theories, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you believe that your boss might be a lizard person, or if you have your own bizarre theories, do share them in the comments section. We promise we won't judge much. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We have plenty of hilarious theories to keep you entertained. Remember, subscribing not only supports the channel, but also keeps the squirrel overlords at bay. Trust us, you don't want them knocking on your door demanding acorns. So are you ready to shed your human beliefs and embrace the possibility of a reptilian world order? Or maybe you're just here for a good laugh, and that's okay too. Just remember to keep an open mind and a good sense of humor. So buckle up, folks. We're about to dive into a world where your boss might not just be metaphorically cold-blooded. So what's the deal with these lizard people anyway? Well, it's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the internet. Picture this. You're browsing your favorite conspiracy forum and you stumble upon a thread titled "Lizard People." Intrigued, you click, and down the rabbit hole you go. Or should I say lizard hole? The theory of lizard people, or reptilians if you want to get fancy, posits that cold-blooded humanoid reptiles rule the world. And we're not talking about your average garden lizards. No, these are shape-shifting, interdimensional beings from the Alpha Draconis star system, naturally. The origins of this theory can be traced back to science fiction literature, but it really took off when a chap named David Icke published a book in the 90s. Apparently, Icke had a revelation that many influential figures, from politicians to celebrities, are actually these reptilian overlords in disguise. Now, you might be wondering, how do these lizard people manage to maintain their human disguises? Ah, well, that's where the shape-shifting comes in. According to the theory, these reptilians are capable of altering their appearance, allowing them to blend in with us unsuspecting humans. And their goal? To control humanity, of course. It's always about control with these conspiracy theories, isn't it? Whether it's squirrels plotting a takeover or Bigfoot munching on a vegetarian diet, there's always a grand scheme at play. But the lizard people conspiracy takes it a step further. Not only do they want to control us, but they also feed off our fear and negative energy. So, every time you get scared watching a horror movie, you're essentially a walking, talking Happy Meal for these reptilians. And that, my friends, is Lizard People 101. Who knew conspiracy theories could be this entertaining? Now, any good conspiracy theory needs some evidence, right? Well, let's see what the Lizard People theorists have up their sleeves. First up, we have the good old reptilian eyes argument. Theorists claim that some world leaders and celebrities occasionally exhibit slit-like eyes, a telltale sign of their scaly secret. But before you start squinting at every public figure on your screen, consider this. It's likely just video compression artifacts or poor lighting. And if that doesn't convince you, remember that we live in an age of fantastic special effects. We've made a T-Rex come alive on screen, folks. Conjuring up a pair of reptilian eyes for a YouTube video, child's play. Now, let's move on to the ancient lizard gods argument. Some theorists believe that ancient civilizations worshipped lizard-like deities, which they claim as proof of the existence of lizard people. But let's take a moment to appreciate the creativity of our ancestors. They've worshipped everything from the sun, to animals, to forces of nature. And yes, reptiles too. A fascination with the scaly creatures doesn't necessarily mean they were ruling the world in disguise, does it? Then there's the argument about cold-blooded decisions. The idea that the so-called lizard people in power make cold, emotionless decisions, just like reptiles. But here's a fun fact. Reptiles aren't actually cold-hearted. They're ectothermic, which means their body temperature relies on their environment. And as for those cold decisions, well, that might have more to do with politics than with being part reptile. Last but not least, we have the hidden symbols argument. Theorists suggest that symbols of reptiles hidden in plain sight on logos, emblems, and even money are signs of the lizard people's rule. But is it really proof of a scaly overlord, or just a testament to good design? After all, lizards are pretty cool looking. And there you have it, folks. The most popular pieces of evidence supporting the lizard people theory. What do you think? Got a chuckle out of it? Or are you now eyeing your pet iguana with suspicion? Drop a comment below and let us know. So, as you can see, the evidence is, let's just say, not exactly rock solid. But don't fret. We still have squirrels planning a takeover and the vegetarian Bigfoot to consider, so stay tuned, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel for more hilarious conspiracy theories. And remember, sharing is caring, so share this video or risk the wrath of our squirrel overlords. You might be wondering, how does one become a lizard person? Well, according to our friends on the internet, it's quite the process. First off, it's all about the bloodline, folks. Yep, you heard it right. You can't just wake up one day and decide to become a scaly overlord. You need to have been born into it, a bit like being a royal. Except instead of a palace, you get a nice warm rock to bask on. Now let's assume you've got the right blood. Next, you need to master the art of shape-shifting. Apparently, lizard people can switch between their human form and their true lizard form at will. Talk about having a party trick up your sleeve, or should I say, under your skin. But wait, there's more. You also need to perfect your telepathic abilities. Lizard people are said to communicate telepathically, which I suppose saves on phone bills and makes for a quieter commute. And let's not forget the diet. No, it's not bugs and leaves. It's all about the negative human energy. So, you might have to give up that Sunday roast and instead feed on the despair of your fellow humans. Now, all this might sound rather complicated and a bit of a hassle, but don't forget the perks. You get to control the world from the shadows, make important decisions, and be part of the most exclusive club on the planet. Or under it, as some would argue. But before you start checking your family tree for any reptilian branches, remember this is all in good fun. We've all got a bit of a wild imagination, and it's okay to let it run free sometimes. Just don't let it run too wild, or you might start believing that Bigfoot is a vegetarian. And there you have it, the secret to becoming a lizard person. Not as glamorous as you thought, huh? Well, folks, we've had quite the journey through the land of the lizard people. We've delved into the nitty-gritty of this reptilian ruse, and as it turns out, it's about as real as Bigfoot's vegetarian diet. Remember, we've tackled theories from squirrels plotting world domination to the more leafy exploits of our large-footed friend. And just like those, the lizard people idea is another conspiracy theory that, while amusing, doesn't quite hold up under scrutiny. But don't let that stop your imagination. After all, isn't it more fun to picture your boss as a scaly overlord than just another guy in a suit? If you've enjoyed this reptilian romp as much as we have, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to do so before the squirrels get to you. So until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those lizard people. Or don't. It's probably just your boss being a boss.